The cast and crew put in a lot of work, from making amazing sets to choosing locations to even figuring out the details of each creature. Let's look at what went on behind the scenes of The Witcher Blood Origin and what took the most time and effort. Designing the creatures. Bringing all those monsters to life took a lot of hard work and dedication, but the result was well worth it. In fact, many of them were made by a team of creature designers, makeup artists, and CGI technicians who had to work together. The first step was for them to come up with ideas for how the creatures would look. To make them look as real as possible, they had to think about things like size, features, and behavior. And once the designs were done, it was up to the makeup artists to make them happen. Yes, this included all the excessive makeup and prosthetics. They had to carefully put it on so that the creatures looked as close as possible to how they were designed. Do you remember when the TV star Aidan O'Callaghan looked almost unrecognizable when he posted a behind-the-scenes pic of himself? He also shared a video of his face being covered in thick plaster to make a mask for special effects makeup artist. Aidan wrote next to the video, "My morning routine." He then shocked us by posing with a shield and an axe while wearing full gladiator gear. Not just this, but CGI parts were the last thing to be added. After all, it was the magic of special effects which made the creatures work well with their surroundings. Speaking of surroundings, let's talk about what went on when the crew had to bring Witcher's magical world to life.
Despite this being a huge place, as you can see, it's massive and it stretches on and on and on. It's not going to be big enough for the world of The Witcher Blood Origin, so we're going to have to take you somewhere else.
They did it through the sets and the characters. A lot of computer-generated imagery was used in the show to make the different creatures and places that appear in it. Of course, this meant making the background for the magical kingdom of Illyria and all the different animals that live there. In fact, even the people who play the characters in the show were carefully chosen to bring them to life. And hell yeah, they managed to pull it off in the best way possible. Some actors like Yassine Tour, Aisha Fabian Ross, Eamon Farron, and even a few others had to go through a lot of training to get into character. Yup, it was pretty intense, guys. They had to constantly run through their lines and fight scenes, and then it was the crew's job to make sure everything went well. Okay, I may be making it seem like it was hellish, but it wasn't, because the crew was very friendly, and all the clips showed us how everyone was laughing and having a good time on set. So yeah, like every other show on this planet, there were a few problems here and there, but the team was able to make the show exactly how they wanted it. Speaking of hard work, they had to put in a lot of effort for another thing as well, finding locations. It took a long time and a lot of work to find the right places for The Witcher Blood Origin. I'm not exaggerating on this, guys. It was crazy. The producers of the show had to look all over Europe for the best places to film it. In fact, the team had to think about things like the weather, the landscape, and even the resources they could use. Not only this, but they also had to find places that could fit all the equipment and people they needed. And it was super important that the places could show the magical kingdom of Illyria and all its different places. Where on earth could they find such a place? But with an extremely lengthy process of scouting and hard work, the team had to try a lot of different places before they found the right ones. Oh well, it all worked out in the end, and the results were beautiful. The ones they found added a lot to the show, and overall helped the crew bring The Witcher's magical world to life. But I think it wasn't just the sets and location that made the show come to life. No, this time they tried something even cooler. They created different effects like monsters or war scenes. the crew of this Netflix original tried something new to make the show come to life. And boy, oh boy, it took a whole lot of CGI work and the skills of a team of visual artists to do this. Their first step was to make a 3D model of the characters and sets. After that, motion capture was used to record how the actors moved. And then all of that data was added to the 3D models. This led to animated characters that looked and acted like real people and had very real interactions with their surroundings. Special effects like smoke and fire were added as the last step in the CGI process, which obviously made it all look a billion times cooler. And I think this show was one of the best ones yet for me, mostly because of how well it used CGI. Also, if you've read the books, then you'll know what an amazing job they did in making the author Andrzej Sapkowski's fantasy world feel so real. But there's another question that keeps revolving in my head. How much did the show stick to the books? Well, according to the show's creator, Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, The Witcher Blood Origin does a great job of staying true to the books. In a recent interview, she talked about how important the original stories were to her adaptation and how she wanted to stay true to them. She also made sure to add a few new ideas and twists, giving viewers something new while staying true to the original books. Lauren said that she wanted the show to have the same emotional depth and tension as the books. So she worked hard to translate the characters and how they related to each other into the script so that the original feel of the books was kept. In the end, her hard work paid off, and the show stayed true to the books while giving a new and exciting experience, not just to us, but even to the actors in the show who explained how much they loved being a part of it. They spoke about their experiences fondly. A lot of the cast members of The Witcher Blood Origin have said how much fun it was to work on the show. A lot of them have said that the show moved quickly and that the cast and crew worked very hard, while mentioning that the set was a place where everyone was friendly and creative. In fact, in a recent interview, the actress Michelle Yeoh said that working on this show was nothing less than a magical experience for her. She was impressed by how hard the cast and crew worked and how much they cared, and even loved the high production standards that the show had.
Oh, it was very exciting because I'm a huge fan of the Witcher series anyway, and I think the most interesting part for me was I get to play an elf, and you don't see a Asian-looking elf running around a lot.
But of course, the team's hard work was what made everything look and feel real. She added that there was a lot of joy and creativity on set, and that everyone was happy and ready to go the extra mile to make something great. Overall, the people who were in the series said it was a great thing to be a part of. This was all that went on behind the scenes of The Witcher Blood Origin. We'll be back with more updates soon. See you in the next video.